Well,
Just,
I
you know,
think the biggest
yeah.
illusion on this planet is there's such a thing as an adult, right? We
Mm.
all strove to become an adult. When I grow up, I'm going to do this. It's an
Right.
illusion.
Yeah. And your adult's fueled by your inner child monologue that's inside you.
Your
That's why we
parents are
gotta
just people that did the best they could with what they had, right?
absolutely.
In Chris's case, unfortunately, his parents didn't have much,
Mm-mm.
right?
Mm-mm.
But I felt like I grew up in what people call the nuclear family, right? And even my mom and dad, they're just people, right? They did the best they could. They admit that. I'm not saying anything they don't admit. Luckily, I had parents that admitted that. We did the best we could with what we had, the information that we were armed with at the time. You just said it. I was the oldest, so I was their experiment, right?
Yeah.
The next two, they learned from that. So they got a little better and they got a little better. You hear that the youngest always got the best treatment. Well, of course they did, because your parents were at their best at that point. If you had one kid, unfortunately, that kid didn't get that experience. But the older kid in the relationship is always going to feel like they got screwed, and the younger kid's always going to feel like they got screwed, just from a different side, right?
Yeah, because the younger kid's always going to want to be able to do the thing that the older kid's going to be able to do. The older kid's always going to want the freedoms and like the quote unquote softness that the younger sibling is getting. It's
Mm.
so crazy. If you pay attention, each sibling, whether you're the first, middle, or last child, they all come with their own like traumas and like tics and all of that. Where if you pay attention and you could start noticing the pattern, like, sir, I can't give an example, so I feel like I'm just talking on my ass right now.
No,
So
I
don't-
like what you
you're
said
good.
earlier about that each kid has a different experience from their parents. I've never really heard it put into those words, but I've heard that story told in just that way, right?
Right.
You got 3 kids in a family, and you'll hear those 3 kids tell the same story from a completely different angle, right?
Yep.
Oh, my mom and dad dressed me in such horrible clothes. Well, the next kid might say, my mom and dad dressed us the best they could with what they had, right? We were poor at the time.
Yeah.
That kid understood that, at that moment in time, their family was going through a hardship, where the other kid, all they were thinking about is they were getting made fun of at school because they weren't going to school with the latest, greatest, whatever, right?
Yeah.
So I like what you said there, that no two kids have the same view of the way they were raised.
That's really interesting too, because I want to form that question to my kids and ask them, hey,
I do for you too. That's what I thought of right away when he said that.
Ask each one of my kids, what's your perception of your upbringing? Because that'll be a really interesting response, because we had a boy and a girl, which is cool. So whenever it was asked, well, Jake's your favorite. Well, you're my favorite daughter. Well, I'm your favorite. No, you're my favorite son. She's my favorite daughter. So that was the best way around that. I'm the favorite kid. Well, you're the favorite daughter, because I didn't really have a favorite kid. And now my daughter has blessed us with 2 grandkids that are going to be 6, and the other one's just over 2.5. And that's kind of a trip, because my approach now, because I have my youngest, I have the oldest one, little man, I call him. I've had him every morning during the week since he was 3 weeks old. But my approach to him is it's so different than what it was with Sky and than what it was with Jake, so much so that my wife will tell me that I have blinders on when it comes to Anthony. But at the same time, Anthony respects me more than he respects his own mother and my wife and his dad, just for the simple fact that I've consistently been in his life every single day. So when he needs, that stern moment, I get that voice, and he just,
He respects you. You can see it in his eyes. Even in the little clips that you post online, it's like he's like hanging on your every move.
Yeah. So, but that's interesting, man. I never thought of that. I never thought
didn't
of the
either,
approach
man.
to that, Jay.
Blew my mind.
This is why we do this, dude, because we just learn stuff every single time. It's crazy.